Welcome. We are visiting Vedic mathematics teachers book values. From today, we are visiting the section of the book covering working rules and applications of Ganita Sutras. We begin with the working rule and applications of Ganita Sutra-1. Ganita Sutra-1, Ekadhikeन Purve, is the source sutra. Ganita Sutra 1 is designated as the source sutra as the first sutra, and further as that the text of Ganita Sutra 1, Ekadhikeन Purve, is a composition availing 16 letters. There are 16 sutras. These 16 letters of Ganita Sutra 1 sequentially preserve the structural keys of the mathematical domains of Ganita Sutra 1 to Ganita Sutra 16. The first letter of Ganita Sutra 1, A, the sixth vowel, is the structural key of Ganita Sutra 1 itself. The composition, formulation, Ekadhikeन Purve, accepts a simple rendering, ek one, adhik more, Kane than what, Purve, as it is the previous state, one more than the previous one step more, having repeated application. This rule, one more than before, arithmetically permits expression as a reach from n to n plus 1, means 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 1. This, in a way, is initiation of the sequence. Reach from 1 to 2 is the rule. Reach 1 to 2 is the first step. Reach 1 to 2 and then 2 to 3 and 3 to 4 and so on is the repeated application. Ganita Sutra 1 is a sequential rule. It is sequential rule as it tells us how to reach from the first step to the next step. How arithmetically it will be a reach from value 1 to value 2. Now, this composition is availing letters alphabet, means composition is availing 16 letters of Devanagari alphabet. However, letters alphabet is the outermost surface, upper surface. Devanagari alphabet is a compactified alphabet. By compactified alphabet, we mean that these letters make the uppermost layer of this alphabet. Beneath it, the second layer is the numbers alphabet. In numbers alphabet, we mean that instead of the letters, now there is an organization of this format as numbers. This is called Divya Ank Vivastha, transcendental code values. Each letter of Devanagari alphabet has association of a unique number. Therefore, these numbers, in fact, are the whole numbers, the natural numbers, the counting numbers, basic numbers, mole numbers, 1 to 9. These values 1 to 9 get associated with these alphabet letters. Therefore, the first exercise First example, first application is to reach from letters alphabet to numbers alphabet. Here on the computer screen are two beakers. First beaker is having letters of Sutra-1. Second beaker is having numbers 1 to 9. Now, as per the working rule of Ganita Sutra 1, one step more than the previous step or initiation to have a sequential correspondence. Ganita Sutra 1 has a working rule one more than before or one more step. Therefore, the initial step is of a progression going from first letter to the second letter. But same way, it also would mean going from the upper surface of the letters alphabet to the lower surface of the numbers alphabet. So the first letter A under this rule will take us to its corresponding number. The corresponding number is 6. Therefore, this correspondence, this association, this reach is the reach as per the rule of Ganita Sutra 1. A takes to number value 6 or first letters has an association of a value 6 or other way A is having its Dive Ank 6. The transcendental code value of the letter A is 6. Like that, sequentially, we can reach at such associations. The first letter A will have a correspondence with value 6. Second letter Ka will have a correspondence with 4. And like that, we can have one-to-one correspondence with the letters of first beaker with the numbers values of the second beaker. It is a reach from the letters alphabet format to numbers alphabet format. This exercise, this example, this application is the fundamental application, fundamental example, fundamental exercise, fundamental value. By being through this exercise, we shall be having insight about the applied values domain initiation for the Ganita Sutra 1. Ganita Sutra 1, as per its working rule, is helping us have one-to-one correspondence between the letters of the text of Ganita Sutra 1 with the numbers values of the corresponding letters. Now, by repeated application 16 times, we will be having complete association for all the letters of first beaker with the numbers of the second beaker. It is here where we can see that this sequential correspondence as sequential steps of application of the rule of Ganita Sutra 1 in a way will further help us organize the text Ekadhiken Purven as a values range. The 16 letters text of Ganita Sutra 1 will take us to 16 16 numbers values range. On the computer screen, the first row is giving the serial numbers of the letters. Second row is giving the letters as per their sequential placements. Third column is giving the corresponding Dve-Ank transcendental code values of these letters. Therefore, this rule is going to be a very potential rule for us to have an appreciation of this rule. Let us have an illustration from the Mandukya Upanishad. Mandukya Upanishad gives us insight as that Om formulation as a composition of three letters A, U, and Ma makes the first three quarters, and the fourth quarter is Om itself. This composition, this unfolding process of formulation Om as three distinct letters, and then the composition of these three letters. First letter O is the first value, is the first vowel. The second letter U is the third vowel, and third letter Ma is the last Varga consonant, and the composition is O. Now, let us take the help of the working rule of Ganita Sutra-1. In one beaker, let us put up the letters A, U, Ma, and composition O. And in the second letters, let us have the numbers 1 to 9. Now, we can have one-to-one correspondence. We can reach in respect of the letter O at its placement value 1. This at second step will take us for association for the third vowel as value 3, and at the third step we'll have an association for third letter Ma as its value 9, and then O, the seventh vowel, will give us value 7, and the Ma will give us value 9. See what has been achieved. A, U, Ma together give us 1 plus 3 plus 9 is equal to 13, and O, 7 plus 9 gives us 16. See, there are 16 sutras and 13 upsutras. This exercise, this illustration, this example will give us faith as that the Ganita Sutras, especially the working rules of the Ganita Sutras, beginning with Ganita Sutra 1, are going to lead us to the organizing features of the Upanishadic knowledge. Upanishads are the essence of Vedic knowledge, Vedic systems. Therefore, by having application of the working rule of Ganita Sutra 1, we will be having the modalities of having association with the letters alphabet as the uppermost layer to its beneath numbers values layer. Letters alphabet to numbers alphabet is achievable, is being achieved It is approachable, it is being approached in terms of the working rule of Ganita Sutra 1. Ganita Sutra 1 makes a rule of potential applied value of having an association of as one-to-one correspondence. This one-to-one correspondence between two sets, between two groups, between two beakers, between two sets of mathematical entities, between two reservoirs of the manifested bodies. Therefore, the rule of Ganita Sutra Ekadiken Purven as one step more is one initial value of this rule. This rule helps us reach at from Varna Samamanaye, letters alphabet, to Ank Samamanaye. It is this comprehension, it is this insight, it is this potentiality of this rule which is going to give us very, very big dividends. Much is going to be achieved. With it, we will be having a reach from the discretes to the set of discretes. This reach for the discretes correspondence as one-to-one correspondence will help us reach at the cardinality of the sets. Now see, if we are having one beaker containing one set of entities and another beaker containing the numbers, then we can reach at the comparison of the cardinalities between any two sets. Set A, say, is having n entities, elements. Set B is also having some entities. Now, if we want to see whether the cardinality or the number of elements of set A is equal to the number of elements of the set B or not, whether n is less than the number of elements of B, or one is more than and one is equal to, then we will, with the help of the working rule of Ganita Sutra 1, firstly have one-to-one association with the elements of set A with the numbers set. Then we will reach from those numbers to these elements of set B. And if the elements are exhausted prior to the availability of the numbers, then naturally we can say that the cardinality of the set B is less than that of the cardinality of A, and so on. It is this feature, it is this reach of this rule which will sequentially take us to the transfer of the structures. If we having say bananas in one beaker and we say have another fruit in another beaker, then if we want to have a comparison in terms of cardinality, we can have it. Whether we can have a comparison of the structures or features, values of the entities, elements of first beaker with that of the second beaker, then we can say that this working rule is putting us on a correct path. Sequentially, when we will reach up till the 16th sutra and simultaneously having exhaustive glimpse of the 13 Sutras, total making 29 sutras as TC value parallel with Brahma, Creator, the Supreme, then we can have a blissful hope that this system, this mathematics, these processing steps will give us the bliss of having comparison of the features. But prior to that, let us now sequentially have placements of progression of such steps. Now take that we have a one plane and there are points of the planes. Then let us see we have a one beaker in which we have the lines. Now we can have a correspondence between the points and the lines. And sequentially, we will be having correspondence of the lines with the surfaces, surfaces with the solids, solids with the hypersolids. We will sequentially develop. We shall sequentially, step by step, as is the caution of the rule of Ganita Sutra-1, that we have to take one step at a time. Here we can have a glimpse that Vedic systems, as Vedic grammar, is availing the format of a transfer of a content from one reservoir to another reservoir. On the computer screen is a depiction that there are two beakers. There is a water in the first beaker, and this is being transferred into the second beaker. The stages are: first is a karta, the original beaker from where the water is there to be transferred. Then is a sap, then there is a apadan, which is to proceed above, and then it is a karan, sampradhan and karam. Karan has a vikaran, and then there is sabandh and sambodhan. We will come to it. We'll see these phases. We'll see how the transfer of the content from the first beaker to the second beaker is a mathematical process. And it is this mathematical process has its roots in Ganita Sutra 1 itself. And then from it, we will be understanding as to how Vedic mathematics of Ganita Sutras is aiming at having chase for transfer of a content in this space. Now, content itself is transforming. There is a series of phases and stages of the content itself, like the format of an alphabet as of a compactified state. So content as well is of a compactified state. Then how one is to reach from one state to another state of a compactified format will require us to have initiation the way Ganita Sutra 1 is leading to a mathematical step of having a reach from one state of alphabet to another state of an alphabet. There are going to be large number of steps, but initiation is as is the working rule of Ganita Sutra-1. Today, we are only having a preliminary glimpse, and as such, we are not entering into the further details of this phenomenon. However, it is impressed as that is not only the one-to-one correspondence, it is not only the transfer of the structures, but it is also of the applied values of transfer of content from one reservoir to another reservoir. This, in fact, is big breakthrough. This takes us from mathematics to technologies. So Vedic mathematics is having inherent inbuilt of the Vedic technologies format. Therefore, the sadhakas, students of Vedic mathematics, fulfilled with the intensity of urge to be parallel with the Vedic mathematics, Vedic sciences, Vedic technologies, shall approach the Ganita Sutras as of compactified states, as of sequential unfolding processes, as of repeated frequencies of steps. Therefore, when we have a glimpse ahead, we will see that the points will have a correspondence with the lines, lines will have a correspondence with the area will have a correspondence with the volume, volumes will have correspondence with hypervolumes, and so on. It is this way that sequentially there will be a reach of sequential unfolding of infinite number of steps. Now, glimpse. Let us write the word point. It is availing letters of English alphabet 1 to 26. If we put up and designate them as number values, then the number values of P, O, I, and T will be 74. And the number value format of one line as well is going to be 74. So point is one line. Point is one line. There is a structure of a line within a point. And C, ekadhikain purvain, our correspondence between the letters and the numbers takes us to value 74, precisely point, precisely line, and it is precisely pairing. It is precisely English. The word English, the word pairing, the word point, the word one line, and the TCV values of the formulation ekadhikain purvain. And 74 is equal to 37 plus 37. And 37 is the TCV value of Shri Bhagwan. Krishna, as Shri Bhagwan, is participating in the divine dialogue, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and 37 is the number of versions of hypercube 18, and 18 itself is the summation value of the four folds of hypercube 5. See how all these facts and features are leading us to the big potentialities of this system. Now, let us visit the organization. Eka adhikain purvain, one step ahead of the east. Now, Purva is having TC value 21. Paschim is having 22, one more. Uttara is having 16. Dakshin is 24, 1.5 times. It is a reach from 2 to 3. Now, if we are having all the diagonal into consideration to have 8 directions and subdirections frame, then the Ishan cone, Agni cone, Nritya cone, Vayve cone. All these, when will be compiled, it will give us value 212, which is 4 into 53. And 53 is nothing but the summation value of a solid dimensional order range. This way, this system, this mathematics is taking us to as to how our solar universe is going to be a pair of hemispheres, and each hemisphere again is a full sphere. This organization will take us to the northern hemisphere value 17, southern hemisphere value 19, and the center, the origin, has value 18. It is here where is hypercube 5. It is here where is the Shri Bhagwan. Now, at this center, which is a seat of hypercube of 5, it will take us to 5 phases and stages of a reach. Saloke, Samipe, Sarupe, Sayuje, Sajive. How 3 space body cube has 12-edged cube from its static state to dynamic state. It will take to 13-edged cube within 4 space. Saloke, when the cube 3 space body is going to be within 4 space. Saloke, it will be having 13 edges, and within 4 space it will come nearer the transcendental origin of 4 space. 5 space, value 18. And then this nearness of 13-edged cube with transcendental origin together making value 28, 4 into 7 means it is having a transition, and everything goes creative. Hypercube 4, value 14. And we know once all these setups, 3, 4, and 5 spaces within 4 space, then it will be taking us to the quadruple spatial dimensions of a 4 space as value 8. And it is this way we will be having a reach at the origin of the origin. And this is how the Upanishads are preserving the enlightenment. This preservation of the Upanishads is Vedic mathematics of transcendental order. It takes us from 4 space mathematics to 5 space mathematics. Step ahead, reaching sequentially from the mathematics of 3 space to mathematics of 4 space to mathematics of 5 space is the organizing format of Vedic knowledge. This is Vedic mathematics. These are Vedic sciences. These are Vedic technologies. It is this Vedic knowledge parallel with Vedic mathematics, Vedic mathematics parallel with Vedic knowledge, which is our subject of comprehension. From this glimpse, we'll be picking up thread for further insight. Thank you very much.